Hey guys, it's Jansen here. Welcome back to my channel. We're back with another Amazon FBA video. Now, this week I've decided to set myself a challenge. Hopefully it's going to evolve into a number of really exciting videos where you guys can kind of see my thought process when it comes to finding a product, like a viable product to sell with Amazon FBA, branding it, how I think about suppliers, all sorts like that. So fingers crossed that it really does play out like that. Now, the reason that I'm unsure is because for this first video, what I decided to do was pay somebody on Fiverr to do my product research for me. I was just kind of curious to see if these guys are actually any good, and I thought it'd be a bit of an interesting video if it does actually result in me finding a killer product and becoming a mega millionaire. So let's jump into the computer. I went onto Fiverr last week and I typed in Amazon FBA product research. There are tons of these, and I decided to go with one guy that had fairly good reviews, and you can see here the price was £17.69. What a bargain. And the guy basically said he'll find me, I think it was 3 products, or he'll search for 3 products, and he'll also give me the supplier's details. So what could be better than that? Hopefully this guy's done all the work for me. Now, I actually messaged him saying I want him to do the UK market because these guys do absolutely everything. And then I thought, I'm gonna have a bit of banter with this guy, you know. So he messaged me and said, "Hello sir, how are you?" And then I said, "Yeah, I only want to do UK market, don't bother finding anything else." And he said, "Yes sir, I can help you find your profitable products and I will make sure to offer you the best services." And then I said, "I want to be rich beyond my wildest dreams." He didn't reply, cool. And then a few days later, again, or the next day, he still hadn't replied. So obviously wasn't liking my banter. I said, "How's it going? Should I start looking at £1 million mansions yet?" And then again, no reply, delivered my order. So I'm not actually sure whether to be hopeful for this, to be honest, because he wasn't engaging in my banter and he didn't even give me any communication. Anyway, he has replied now, and God's honest truth, I haven't even looked at this yet. So who even knows what the quality of this is going to be? So let's just download. Right, okay, so I've just loaded the results up. I mean, just from looking at the title of each folder, I'm not holding my breath. But let's just have a quick flick through what they are, and then I'll kind of go into Amazon for each one and let you know my thoughts. So the first one, bath shower screen, frameless shower door, seal, plastic rubber shower seal strip for glass door. Okay, that's interesting. I actually thought when I immediately saw that would be like a bath screen, which obviously is a massive no because it's made out of glass and it's freaking huge. But it looks like it's a seal strip or something, which isn't something that I've come across before. And then a door stopper, double retractable dog leash, a hands-free desktop magnifying glass, and a reusable silicone food bag. Okay, those sound possibly interesting. So let's have a look, shall we? Right, okay guys, I just had to pause the video there to get all the pictures and things like that into one file because the guy had literally sent me like 40 different files for all the different products. So I put them all together, and if I'm being honest, I'm a bit disappointed. These products, I mean, I only had a quick glance at the title of each of them. They're even more disappointing than that. So let's jump into the computer now, and I'm going to kind of walk you through my thought process for each, and then somehow I've got to choose one product that I actually think is worth a look in. I'm not holding my breath, but let's see. So the first product that he sent is a shower seal. It looks to me like something that basically you just put on the top and bottom of the shower or a bath or something to stop water escaping. Now, the first thing that comes to my mind here is that this technology might be patented or something, so that could cause some issues. So that would be one flag in my head to be thinking about. The second is just how the hell do you differentiate this? I mean, you can't brand it at all. You can't put your private label brand on, which is what Amazon FBA is kind of all about. And it just kind of seems something that somebody would buy just once and they're not really bothered about any of the freebies or something like that. So those are my initial thoughts there. It's a bit of a boring product. We'll have a look at the sales in a second, but generally already I'm not getting the greatest, most exciting feeling about this. And also, I don't even have a shower like this, so it would be impossible for me to order it, to try it out and sample it. So again, that's another red flag. So, so far, not a good start. The next one, door stopper. Again, I mean, he literally just put door stopper. He has put a link to a listing, which, well done, mate. You've put Amazon USA when I specifically said UK, so
congratulations. You played yourself.
Another cross against this guy's name. Door stopper, I don't know what this is, but again, it looks very hard to be able to private label. It could well be quite heavy and bulky. That's a TBD. And again, the third thing that's in my head is, again, it could be some sort of patented device. So those are all kind of red flags that I'd be thinking about. But I'm not going to completely write this one off. You never know. The next one. Now I was really excited about this one. Double retractable dog lease. I was like, that's not something I've heard of before. What's the double retractable thing? Sounds quite exciting. Nah, it's not. It just means you buy two instead of one. So literally it's just two dog leashes, which I am 99.9% sure is a incredibly saturated market on Amazon and is not worth pursuing. But I mean, you can private label this. You could put like a cool little brand on, and I kind of do have a couple of, you know, ideas for how you could differentiate. So you could do maybe like those doggy poo bags or a whistle attached to it or something like that. So even though it is a very low score, it's probably the best of the ones we've seen so far. I'll probably give it a 3 out of 10. So this one's winning so far. Then the next one, hands-free magnifying glass. Now, when I saw this, I was like, what on God's green earth is this? And it basically looks like it's people that are very hard, like unable to see. So they have this kind of massive magnifying glass to blow things up. So the thing that I'm thinking of here is, first of all, it's glass. So there's a chance that it could smash or something when you order it from China to the UK. And secondly, the main people that are going to be after these are old people. Now, do we think that old people browse Amazon or able to browse Amazon to see it, to buy it? Maybe not. They'll probably get their friends and family to do it for them. But again, it's kind of like a doubt in my mind as to whether the demand here is actually there. So I'm kind of unsure on this one. It doesn't look promising. And then the final one, we're on product 5 already. A reusable silicone food bags. Now, this one is an interesting one because kind of like the environment is very popular at the moment. You know, like having reusable things like cotton buds and makeup removers and toothbrushes. Anything that's reusable is actually very, very popular on Amazon. But for that reason, it has also become quite saturated, the market, from what I've seen anyway. But silicone food bag, it's lightweight, presumably it'll be very cheap to make. It kind of plays into the saving the environment angle. So I think that this one kind of does show a bit of promise, but I'd just be a bit concerned over whether the market is already too saturated. So those are the product ideas. Now, this guy hasn't really scored himself too many points yet. But what I'm going to show you next are kind of like the bits of analysis that he's done. And actually, I'm really glad that I've decided to do this video now because I can tell you the things that he's done wrong, which is quite a lot. Okay, so now let's look at this guy's analysis that he apparently did on the market for each of the products that he sent me. So I loaded it up and straight away, alarm bells are literally screaming in my ear because he's like done the market. This is his market analysis, which is 2 products within the shower guard niche, both with the same brand. So they're both the same owner. So effectively he's only showing me like one result. He hasn't shown like how other people are selling. And the number one rule when you're doing your product analysis and your product research is you need to make sure there's a market for it. If there's one seller absolutely crushing it and everyone else is doing terribly, then it's not going to make a good product, because the chances are that this seller has built up like a huge brand, or there's some reason that this seller is like far outperforming anybody else. So it's a massive red flag if only one person is doing well. Now, we don't know that for sure here, but this guy's only given us effectively like one brand that's selling it. Now, you'll remember earlier on I was also talking about the possibility that this product is patented. Well, this kind of doesn't really help with those assumptions, does it? Because he's only given us 2 sellers and the brand is the same for both. So that would signal to me that the brand is possibly an owner of patented technology or something like that. But let's just give this guy the benefit of the doubt and just go through the rest of his analysis. So the next thing that he's shown is the monthly revenue in dollars. So let's just, pretend that we are looking at the US market, and then we'll actually look at the sales in the UK, because that's what I'm going to be selling. So tip number 2 here, guys, is if you're going to get someone to do product research for you, make sure that it is for the market that you're looking to sell in, because all the different markets are very, very different. And just because something sells well in the US doesn't mean it'll sell well in the UK. Okay, so monthly revenue straight away for that second one, it's like $3,500. So like what, £3,000, £6,500 or something. I mean, it's not huge, is it? If you're assuming that these guys are running on like a 30% margin, then it's about £1,000 profit per month. I mean, there's a possibility that the margin could be quite high on this, because it's like these silicone stoppers or something. So I'd expect the price to be very, very low for them. But anyway, let's have a look at the rest. So we've got monthly sales. I mean, they're not great, are they? Pretty low, 200 to 300. Average rating of 4. So the thing that I would be thinking there is, okay, there's an average rating of 4. So that means that there are obviously going to be some 1 stars in there. So if we're looking to differentiate, we could definitely look at those 1 stars, see what people are complaining about, and then basically try and make sure that our product doesn't have those fallbacks. I'm not even going to waste my time and look at this one. I just think it's a complete no-go for the reasons that I listed earlier, and also the sales on this don't look great. If they're not great in the US, then almost undoubtedly they're not going to be good in the UK. But guys, if you want to have a look yourselves, feel free. So the next one is the door stopper, and he's done it again. He's only listed 1 seller.
No, God, please, no, 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 no!
So let's have a look at the figures of just this one product. $14,000 revenue. So yeah, that's pretty good. We can see that it could be certainly worth looking at further if other sellers were making this as well. What else have we got? So the price, $17.50, so about £15, which is a good price. I always try and aim for products that are £12 or more, because it kind of means that, the amount that you're earning per sale, like on an absolute measure, so like in terms of how much pounds you're getting per profit, is going to be worthwhile. And then what else have we got? Outlier reason is just blank. Brilliant. He's not done his images thing on this one. Again, like absolutely useless. But I mean, the revenue there is decent, but again, I'm worried about the patent issue. So I will actually give the benefit of the doubt there, and I'll have a look at that on Amazon UK. So we'll look at that shortly. Then the double retractable dog lead, which is basically just 2 dog leads. Okay, so well done. This guy's actually listed more than 1 seller this time. Who knows why he's highlighted these 2 red? Like, it is a mystery to me. He's not put any key or anything like that. Very unhelpful. But let's have a look anyway. So the revenue is looking good for some of them. So we've got this one here, which is 32,000, and they are selling 1,000 a month, which is good. Then the next one down is this one, 450 units per month, $18,000 a month. I'd say overall this one looks okay, but again, my fear here is that it's just massively oversaturated. What I'm going to do is look on Amazon UK to see what the sales are like there, and if I think it is oversaturated. There's a good chance that it is, more than good chance, but again, it's worth having a look. And then again, average rating. So here again, we've got opportunity, haven't we? 3.2, and even the seller, the top seller, has got a 3.8 rating. So straight away, I'm thinking in my head, well, if he's got a 3.8 rating and he's making that many sales, then there could be a big opportunity for me to get in, differentiate, and find out why he's got a bad rating, and basically ensure that my product doesn't have those the reasons why it would be poor. So far we've got 2 very low potential products, but you never know, we can see. Magnifying glass, he's only done 1 again. I'm not going to look into that further, plainly because of the fact that it's made out of glass. It looks a little bulky to me, and the fact that I think that generally I'm not convinced the demand is there. I mean, he's probably put here the top seller, $7,000. And I just think that old people probably would get these from a specialist or something as opposed to Amazon. And then finally, what do you know, he's only done 1 listing again. Reusable silicone bag. And this one is doing $13,000. Now, I am going to look at this one in a bit more detail because I think these would be really cheap to produce and get. It fits in with the whole environmentally conscious thing, and I'm sure there's loads of different bundle ideas, and you could probably build quite a cool brand about this. So that's the analysis that the guy did on the 5 products that he sent me. Of those 5, I would say at an absolute push, 3 are worth my time of looking into in more detail. But for the benefit of you guys, I'm going to look at those 3 on Amazon now, Amazon UK, to actually see if the sales are there and if it's worth me progressing any of them further. Hopefully it is. If not, I'll probably choose one anyway, just so that we can continue this series on, so that you can kind of see the things that I think about when choosing to launch a product with Amazon FBA. Okay, so for the door stopper, the first one, I had to actually go onto Amazon.com to kind of find out exactly what it was. It's basically just an actual door stopper that you fix to the door, but you can kind of kick it up and down, so it doesn't always act as a door stopper. It's not one of those that kind of wedges under the door. It's one of those that basically, I think you nail in. Anyway, in order to find it, I had to actually come onto Amazon UK and type in door stopper kick down, and I think it's these. I mean, immediately, it's not really looking great, is it? I mean, the price is very, very low. So £8, I mean, £5 here. It's not looking fantastic. And even when you look at the bestseller ranking here, it's like sky high. So 1 million, which is like very, very, it can be a very, very low amount of sales. But let's have a look at what Jungle Scout says. Wow, we have really found a killer product, haven't we here? I mean, if you're looking for £800 revenue per month, then, you know, do this product. No, I'm being sarcastic here, guys. The product is an absolute sham. What is this here? Magnetic door stopper. Someone doing £6 but it's not even the same product. And all the others are not selling anything like that. Now, I just want to double check that I haven't used the wrong keyword. So again, this is something that you guys should be doing. What I would do is click into one of the listings that definitely is the product that you're looking for, and then I just scroll down and kind of have a look to see like when it says compare with similar items, if there's any that are missing there. I think all of those were actually on the one before. There's one £10.99. I would just basically have a flick through and like look at the sponsored listings and things like that, and see if there are any more listings that you didn't recognize from before, or any keywords and things. So here it says kick down door stop, stopper with screws. I mean, I use the word kick down door stop anyway, or door stopper kick down. So I think we have used the right keyword, and yeah, it's an absolute disaster. Do not do this product. So that's 1 down. We're now down to 2. Let's go on to the next one. Okay, so for product number 2, the double retractable dog leash, which was nowhere near as exciting as it initially sounded. I've just gone onto the guy's link that he provided for Amazon.com to kind of make sure that I was searching for the right thing. And the picture that he had on the data pack that he gave me wasn't even the product that he'd found. So another well done, mate. You've done really well point there. So this one is the link that he gave, and it literally looks like some very odd contraption. I'm not quite sure if I would be comfortable walking around with that. It looks pretty bulky, but anyway, it looks like a gun of some sort. So this is a double retractable dog leash with a flashlight on top, which is this thing. It's for walking up to 2 dogs. Okay, so I think that's what the double thing actually is. It just means it's got 2 leash things on it, as opposed to actually there being 2 of them. For walking 2 dogs up to £50 each, that's not really relevant, I suppose. And then you've got a reflective polyester ribbon bundled on top of that as well. I mean, I had a quick look at the sales for this, and again, I mean, they're not great for the US market, so I haven't got my hopes up for the UK. But, you know, let's have a look. So I'm actually going to change this now to double, now that I understand what the double thing is. Just in case you've got 2 dogs and you only want 1 leash thing. Okay, so we've loaded it up. Now I'm looking at this and the price looks okay, actually. Those ones at the top with £12 was a little low, but we've got like £20 or so, and I can't imagine these would cost much more than maybe like £3 or £4 landed. So that is a semi-good sign. Now let's have a quick run of Jungle Scout before we do any other analysis. Okay, Jungle Scout's just finished and it's very disappointing once again. There's nobody that's selling well at all of these. I mean, what's this one here? You've got 33 sales a day, £12,000, but it's not a double. It's not a double retractable one. It doesn't look like these double ones are popular at all. So I don't know what this guy was smoking or what he was looking at, but he doesn't know Amazon, does he? So, but what I would do in this circumstance, and again, this is kind of a good lesson for you here. If you find a product that you've had a good idea on and you find it and the sales are just really poor, we'll just kind of think, well, what other products might link to this that might be doing better? So a double retractable leash isn't doing so well, but what about just a standard retractable dog leash? So, you know, just because you have a product idea and the sales for it aren't great doesn't mean that it's an absolute no-no. Make sure you think of like, you know, product ideas that relate to it. Do a bit of like product association, and it might mean that that product idea that you had wasn't actually a wasted idea after all. So for the dog leash, the double retractable one, I'm now just going back to a normal one. I mean, I think that the price might be a bit too low on this, but let's have a look. So we've got one that's £20 that looks like it comes with a doggy bag and a LED light. We've got one that's £15. Okay, so the price is looking okay, but I mean, to be honest with these, it's looking like it's really oversaturated, isn't it? So again, I haven't got my hopes high on this one, but let's have a look and let's analyze the sales. Okay, the sales here are definitely a lot more consistent, but I'm just a bit concerned about the revenues. So as you will have seen from my previous video, in terms of the things that I look for when I'm analyzing Jungle Scout. So first of all, I'll kind of like look at the sales to make sure that these things are actually shifting, and then next I'll look at like the monthly revenue. So just because something is selling like 50 units a day doesn't automatically mean it's a complete yes. You want to be looking at the monthly revenue and then kind of comparing that to your like target profit amount. So on average, I would always kind of assume that these products have 30% profit margin after you take into account cost of goods sold, advertising, Amazon fees and things like that. So here, this first one is making £3,000 revenue a month. So on a good case, that could be about £1,000, £1,500 profit a month. Now, if you're looking to make £2,000 profit a month from one product, then straight away you know that this person isn't making it, and you wouldn't with this product either. I mean, there are some people that are doing quite okay, £7,000, £13,000, and so let's have a look at the lowest starred rating one, because some of these are doing okay. So, I mean, I think it would be a market that would probably satisfy your profit requirements on a monthly basis, but my doubt here is whether you'd be able to differentiate. So I think I am gonna park that one for now, and possibly next video what I'll do is analyze this market in a bit more detail and run through ideas that I had to differentiate and how I kind of thought of those. Okay, so we have loaded the final product up, the Silicone Food Bags. And you can see as soon as it's loaded, every listing looks pretty much the same. There are some people that are bundling like these silicone covers for like jars and things. So you can see some people are already looking to differentiate there. But what we're interested in, of course, is are the sales any good? In terms of the price, it's looking okay. I have a strong suspicion that these products would be incredibly cheap to make. I'm thinking like you could probably get them for less than £1 landed. They're not going to cost much at all. But again, in the back of my mind now, actually, I'm thinking just make sure that they're like FBA approved, whatever. If people are storing food in these things, you want to make sure that they're chemical free and they're safe and all things like that. So that's kind of a little red flag that I'd be thinking about. But it's something that you should definitely, if you were going to be doing this product, it's something that you should definitely make sure that you clarify with the supplier before ordering. Okay, so the sales are in, and unfortunately the sales aren't magnificent, and I think the reason for this is that the market is just too saturated. This whole environmentally friendly angle has been about now for like 9 months to a year, so there's been time for people to kind of jump on board and start saying these things like, you know, on a large scale. And you can see really when you scan down that there are actually tons of them. I mean, no one is really differentiated, to be honest, so that could be a possible angle. But to be honest, the figures don't really stack up, do they? Like, you look through these and the sales are very, very low. This person here is making how much? £11,000, and it's reusable sandwich bags. So reusable sandwich bags, okay, so that's different to what I typed in before. So I might just search for that actually and see if anything comes up. Let's have a look at the others. So reusable food storage bags. Do you know what I'm going to do? Let me just type in here reusable food storage bags instead of silicone and see what it comes up with. Just because maybe people wouldn't actually type in silicone thinking about it. Okay, so again, we've typed in reusable food storage bags and it's the same listings really. They look very similar anyway. Let's have a look at the sales. I mean, looking at the BSR, this thing here, it looks very low. Okay, so this looks like it might have been a bit of a better keyword to be using to searching. So again, another tip for you here, guys, is kind of when you're searching for a product, or if you've had a product idea, try using a different combination of different keywords, or use that trick earlier that I said where you go into the listing to see if there's any other products that look like new to you, which would indicate you haven't used the best keyword. But let's look here. So we've got someone here that's making £5,000. I mean, they're making 30 sales a day, but they're not really, you know, breaking the bank. £5,000, it's not a huge amount. What else have we got? Reusable sandwich bags, that's the one that we saw before. Yeah, there aren't really enough people making like enough sales here for me to be that interested. Normally what I say is try and aim for 5 or more sellers that are doing like at least, I'd say, like £7,000 or £8,000, or however, you know, much related to your profit goals it is. So if I'm aiming for £3,000 profit a month on a profit margin of 30%, you'd be looking at least £9,000 revenue, just as an example. So again, with that one there, it doesn't look like it is a starter. But again, with what I was saying before, guys, is just because you find or you think of a product that doesn't really have good sales doesn't mean it was a complete bad idea. Try and think of other products associated with that. So we've had reusable storage bags now, or reusable sandwich bags. Now maybe you can think about something else that's reusable related to food or drink or something like that. What I would say is this guy did a terrible job. First of all, he gave me listings that were apparently doing well in Amazon US, so that's a big cross, even though I specifically said I wanted Amazon UK. Then the product analysis that he gave was poor. He only gave me like 1 or 2 listings per niche, which is in no way helpful. You need at least, I'd say, like a snapshot of everyone on the first page to be able to actually ascertain whether a product niche is worth investigating. Then in terms of the products that he gave me, well, they were pretty poor, weren't they? Some of them couldn't be private labeled. Some of them looked like they might be patented or something. And some of them were like made of glass and were bulky and things like that. So, well, what's the moral of this video? Well, you can probably guess is don't pay people on Fiverr to do your product research. I would also hazard a guess that this guy is probably getting multiple orders a week from people and he's just sending the same results out to them. So there's also a risk that if he did, by some like ridiculous chance, send a product that was worth investigating, there's a chance that he could send that to somebody else as well, and then straight away you've already got a competitor, haven't you? So my advice in this video, guys, is product research is hard, it can be boring, it's tough, but just stick with it, and honestly it will really pay off. You'll find ideas, you'll find products that will be well worth doing and nobody else will have thought of doing them. There'll be tons of people out there that just can't be bothered and will pay people on Fiverr to do stuff like this, and as a result they'll launch into a niche that's probably oversaturated and just doesn't make a good Amazon FBA product. But anyway, I want to make this a bit of a series so that you can kind of see my thought process when I do find a good product. So I think, thinking about it, I am going to do the dog leash. I'll give it some more thought after this video. But in the next video in this series, what I'll be doing is kind of looking for ways to differentiate and kind of showing you a bit more about how I think when choosing a product to do with Amazon FBA. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video, guys, and I'm going to go and give this guy on Fiverr now a bad review probably. And I will see you next time. If you did enjoy it, please remember to subscribe. See you later.